engage Dr. Jonathan Asante Otchere, Executive Director at the African Institute of Strategic Studies. So, Doc, another petition Asaba. Otchere no fan say.
Yo, Ziggy,
Otchere, Doc.
Oh, okay. Let me say good afternoon to your viewers and to your listeners as well, and all co-panelists. I expected the MPP to argue that way. Now, as I've always said, near a two about penning token, and I wouldn't wish that for my late mother. In the case, say why oba. Now, say near maybe so or something obviously no. The process will have to be initiated. It will have to be processed, and then we need to see a finality. I am among those who have been very consistent with this particular EC commissioners that, look, these things could easily have plunged this country into chaos. A philosophy, and I have been used. As I say, look, let's share 2012 elections. May I share sending a petition a court and how the Supreme Court handled that issue. In the end, we came out with reforms that helped the system to grow. In 2016, the MPP won the elections. In 2020, now the only reform that came probably is the abridgment of time. Because like 8 months, we had to run for about 8 months. 2012, 2013, thereabout. This time, almost 48 days or so, 46 or 48 days. So, abridgment of time. Look, what happened? We lost a lot of things. One, due to some legal gymnastics, the Supreme Court did not allow Obapeni Jimensa to testify. Look, that would have brought a lot of transparency to the EC. It would have given her credit. It could have even helped her to exonerate herself. Because you are mathematically disinclined, or you have certain challenges which is not open to the stakeholders. What's the How many corrections were made before the final one? If it were to be in Nigeria, I don't think that this country would still have been safe as we find ourselves today. So when you have been they could easily have plunged this country into chaos. So almost incompetence in the before 2019, thereabout, before up to 2020, they were making, unpardonable errors along the line. And so I have condemned them and I have been consistent on that. In the 2020 elections, the EU report that came, there were elections about the first proof. There were problem relation. Could they you report observers well, we know, but what we did was to create of collation. That is the original collation.
Doc, asema can the pa, but I say after the line to Jessica Crack.
Oh, sir.
I feel a pa high pa. I feel quite you and me pa, yeah.
Okay. And you know, the American say, nipa there and from Soba Usia. Now, Aqua to say, and perform about observe your elections. I'm say, your coalition and shut down Nimu into may improve it. So we expected the EC to put in place measures that will ensure that when it comes to coalition, to prove. In the election, in the whole of the even metric, when we are not gone electronic support, this is the very first time that I have seen delayed coalitions as if they were planned. Now, who delayed coalitions, now we have a different layer. That I said, regional coalition office or say regional coalition, center or whatever they called that. So that was another bureaucratical, phase. Dr. Afarijan had cause to inform, to tell them that that particular layer must be scrapped. So that polling station, you get to the constituency. Once it is declared at the constituency, it goes to national. But we brought another one. So all this encouraged some tinkering. And this is a testament to their incompetency. Now, let me tell you something. I am not so much enthused about this particular petition, Abba, because long before this particular petition came, I know the narrative of the MPP. Some predicted that once Tokono is dealt with, the EC will be the next. I don't think the petition should probably see the light of day. What I think should be done at the EC is not because the NDC has won and now Asitinapa Emma will free that be. The EC is a sensitive office that is the mainstay of our democracy. Therefore, we need to have a type of EC that is solid enough, that is not, that is not partial, and that must be fair. I think that there should be a forensic audit done at the EC. There should be a forensic audit. Now, when the forensic audit is done, the report, everything, they should set up a commission of inquiry where people will be made to come and testify so that this petitioner, whatever the content of the petition that there is within that thing, should have the opportunity to be called to go and testify. I'll tell you what, once it is done, the EC commissioners will have no option because the moral right will not be there. Imani Africa has made us understand that there have been serious procurement breaches. Now, Bisa won't say, yes, in the Fourth Republic. Why? And now, after elections or Namwa, a soldier for any police for a born hobby on a regular basis, more than the president. What were you hiding? What were you afraid of? Usun na usura, I was a BBC at war. You have even virtually and morally imprisoned yourself. So I think, say, either from 2012 up to 2020 up to 2024, because this opportunity that the nation did not get, one Madame Jean Mensa did not testify, all because of legal gymnastics. These things can come out publicly, and the nation can heal out of that. Now, I heard you mention appointment. Look, some of us feel that people must be made to apply. Then 3 persons could be shortlisted. Once they are shortlisted, they should be vetted by Parliament. Parliament is a representation of the people. And then the one who becomes the winner should have 2/3 majority in Parliament voting for him or her. That is my view. In the sense, both opposition and party in government will have confidence in whoever is appointed. Until you go through this process, then you can take the staff of office from the president. With that, we will have seen clearly, say, it was parliamentary processes that led to that. It is just unfortunate or by accident today, let me say by accident, that the NDC has that overwhelming majority, and then you have the, what is it called, independent MPs also, right, caucusing with the NDC. So that strength in terms of, that strength gives them that kind of advantage. But everybody will see, say, this person is more competent in the vetting process than this. And whoever gets the two-thirds, I think they will have that confidence. And it will not be business as usual. Say, Binmaker say, hey, they see I send any American for idea. You if you are not say another way, no, President Bar, they just say, Baba file it. When you have not done anything, even if they file Article 146, a petition, even if it is institutionalized, I don't think that you will lose that. Don't forget, other chief justices, had some of these things, petitions filed against them. But because prima facie were not able to be established, obviously they were able to do their business and they ended their term. This idea of people thinking, say, the chief justice, for example, the term should be coterminous with the presidency or the party that is in government, I think it is neither here nor there. People might be bitter for now, and that is why they are talking like that. Look, this is a sensitive thing that we must not toy with. And some of the errors that happened, people have died in the 2020-2024 elections. All these things are manifestations of incompetence. And I think, whichever way that is important to safeguard the democracy of this country, that is something that we must all cherish.
All right, thank you very much. Doc, Jasuma, don't go yet. How do we have to, what process they say, they appointed the Electoral Commission so that we can avoid this petition in every year. A political party come to power, they always want to come out with something. Let me go back to Dr. Asante. So, Doc, upon we bibiano, see appointed Electoral Commissioner. And then I see a share and sorry to me appointed Electoral Commissioner because it looks like political parties, say me banner me appointed Electoral Commissioner we bar as one jinini. We suba no appointed we are obi suba on jinini on and on a basana near say ye call a merry go round because we share how Afarijan was appointed. Afarijan was appointed Achimota a drinking bar at Achimota Forest. We read Professor Kwamina Hoy book now. He told us that the man was hostile to Dankwad Buzia Dombo and also an Nkrumahist. Support the revolution, the reason why they appointed him. So, in terms and purpose, we can say that Afarijan was an NDC. Per the narration and the story, then Madame Charlotte say came, she was tagged. And Madame Jinmen Sanswaba, she was also tagged. So, how do we, Yaman Kofo apply, or more apply process be the betimia faswa, ye betimia you obia, oba, obia nyano huasamon kada.
You mean that was the only party where they are obibenya huasamaka. Say, enyo huasamanka, at least Jesus Christ, where the Lord no, Ukoponya and huasam kind. Emma, he was innocently crucified. But I want to react to a few things that Honorable said. There are some mischief in whatever he said. 2012 petition. I'll say Mimika said reforms. Yes, some reforms came out of that because that was the first time in the Fourth Republic, maybe say AC. We had not seen that precedent in the Fourth Republic. Now, a buyer, and some Ebinum kind say, oh, NPP say, Ebinum register, got the card through NIE, National Insurance Authority card. And for Sadia, those things listed be expunged and then new registration be done because we realize some people in this country were bearing national health insurance card who were not Ghanaian. That was a good reform that came. Secondly, Judge Bia Watna Sajuma Diano Sono, Obia any opportunity to vote. Say, me after when I'm say meto at the echo. So at the end of the day, the chief, the one who led, appointed by the chief justice, I think Honorable the Lord Atuba, right? Now he read Obia position by in the 2020 petition. There was nothing like that. What we saw was a collapse of everything, and the chief justice read straightforward. Intino, yenim ne obi kan ye wa, yenim ne we disagree ye, yenim ne we agree ye. And that for me was not good.
Sorry.
Afarijan had the opportunity to testify, and we all saw the sterling performance of the venerable doctor. We all saw it. He never ran away. Now, the good honorable Charles, everybody said, oh, at the end, and this is for the court, you know, Mubisa opinion said in Katia say, no pink sheet I'm gonna buy away, because I think it was in reference to me suggesting said corrections were made, and that is a fact. Obian himself, yeah, correction. Some say about 4, others say about 5. But you know that the MDC did not go to court with a view of this pink sheet issue. It was a legal strategy that went wrong. And that was because they were waiting and planning, say, Madame de Mesa was going to testify. And then during the cross-examination by Venerable Chikata, she would have been exposed. So that's why I said it was just a legal gymnastics that saved the whole process. And Untina Memifi said, if they really want to get to the bottom of this, there should be a commission of inquiry after forensic audit would have been done.
I see.
Esan said, in the, I think, case management, the woman said she was going to testify, she was going to be a witness. So now, the mere fact to say, Omo form pink sheet, then suddenly it is a collapse of their case, as if they had no way. And I say, sir, the Supreme Court, those who sat on the issue, they took a certain shine. Those who sat on the issue, they took a certain shine. They took a certain shine out of the case, because I believe, sir, she could have performed and she could have exonerated herself. That was an opportunity for her to explain the calculation errors that happened. Up to now, now, on the issue of appointment, I think I suggested my position. And my position is that we don't need a president to nominate someone to go through the process. When you do that, definitely it is going to have a political coloring, whether for good or for bad.
Yeah.
Then, apart from that, we have people who are not politically exposed in this country. When they speak, you can see, say, wait there, he's not politically exposed, he speaks to the issues. We have many of them in this country. So we don't need somebody who is politically exposed to become an arbiter. When you know very well, say, two adversaries, the MPP and NDC, they will be challenging each other. So you will need to avoid such a controversy. And then they go through the vetting process at parliamentary level. Then, at the plenary, they vote. Whoever gets 2/3 majority becomes the commissioner, and then the rest can follow. That is what I'm thinking, because another say this is a representation, right, of the people. And with that firm conviction, you are not going to please any party. You are not going there to go and please any party. Remember, if this country is plunged into chaos, you will also be affected.
Yeah.
People know your family. They know where they are. So don't also think that when the country is plunged into chaos, you expect the soldier who also has his family, you expect the police who also has his family to go and bodyguard you. Really, they wouldn't do that.
Sorry.
But yes, and this is my position. This is my position.
Mm.
I think people have had good heart. People have been committed to our democracy. In Kenya, Sadia, some of the errors that are so unpardonable could easily have plunged this country into some kind of chaos.
So Doc, what about, I mean, open the floodgate for people to apply? Apply. Now, if you have passed a comment on the radio,
of course, you will come out.
Say be our pass a comment to radio pay, television pay. I'm a say be or political or you also could as we can refer that to you, then disqualify you. A biana ya so what have baby pay, you bet me I disqualify. But do you think that this country we can get fair-hearted people? I'm free say, Sankofo we when this we NPP say this person can help us. I ain't to compromise. This country, Ghana, can we find one?
You cannot have a neutral person, but you can always have an independent-minded person. You can always have an independent-minded person who is not bothered whether whose ox is God, right? He will make sure the right thing is done, and that is it. We have many. It is not everybody who comments on political issues that is politically exposed. That person may not be aligned, but he speaks as it is.
I see.
That is an independent-minded person. He may have his sympathies, but these sympathies will not sway him to do the unthinkable. So, for example, to become a vice chancellor, there is a criteria. You must be a full professor. You should have your PhD. They are saying you should have brought this amount of money into the university, right? You should have taught for this number of years. You should have this, you see, you should be networked. I mean, this is criteria. And so, yeah, the BB said to her, one person who said, Obian can't just apply.
Yes.
But yes, and we know very well that you are politically exposed. We cannot allow you because we know we cannot be bringing people we have seen on political platforms, right? Doing campaign here and there. Somebody going to contest for MPship, not when we need, right? The person is politically tainted, so and so and so forth. So we must avoid.
Okay. All right, Doc, thank you very much.